Well, I'm trying something different today. I've really started halfway through, but I'll try and get a bit better picture if I can. A little bit better, I think. Yeah, I'm trying. I saw Alex Ogden, I think his name is. He's a priest, or a lay preacher, or a vicar, or I don't know what they call him in America, but he was doing Bibles, and I like the way he did the backs and things, so I'm going to have a go at the back, but I'm not doing a Bible, I'm just making a book. It's just something I want to try. I don't exactly want a Bible because I'm not all that religious or anything, but I'd like to see I've never done a fully bound leather, so I'm going to do a fully bound leather. And I've been reading about pea leathers and foul leathers and chrome leathers, and chrome sulfates and vegetable dyes and oaks and tannins and mimosa leaves, and I'm as blind as when I started, so I'm not going to go into it. I think this is a man-made fibre. This is a man-made plasticized fibre because it doesn't tear, but it does stretch. And when you pull it, it doesn't show anything through. So I think it's a man-made thing. But whatever it is, it's pretty good, and I quite like it. And for the price I'm paying, I'm not really complaining. And at the moment, all I've done is put a 1mm card in the back, and I'm going to put a little bit. That's what I was going to do before I started. I always do things after. I've got everything, it's just that I seem to tend not to get it all out when I want it. But anyway, I've got loads of bits and pieces to do things with. It's not as though I haven't got it ready, it's just that... and my trusty little board again, there's my trusty little board. I'm going to put this underneath it because the glue will stick. I watched Alec do it, Mr. Alec Ogden or whatever his name is, priest Alec or vicar, I don't know. And he does a very good job. And he should get more hits than he does, because he's very good. And he's quite liberal with his knowledge. I mean, he doesn't hide anything, he gives it all away. I mean, it's not as though there's any secrets with him. He'll tell you anything you want to know. But anyway, I'm going to put this on and have another go. I'm going to work it. I've got no idea what kind of leather this is. I'm pretty sure it's not real. It's not the real leather. It's probably parts leather and part this and part that and a bit of plastic and whatever. But anyway, I'm going to work it in. And I followed his advice for lots of things, and people that know what they're doing, I do take their word for it if they seem to know what they're doing, and this is coming out at the moment quite well. So they don't seem to put things down on Bibles, the hinges, they don't do the hinges, but I do like a hinge on mine, and I have got a 3mm hinge on this. I don't know what's happened to it, it seems to have vanished. So anyway, I'm just working these hinges now, and see if I can get a closer shot than that. It's quite an attractive leather, this. It's black. It probably looks blue and purple, and there are all sorts of colours out there. Look, all sorts of colours. And I hope I've got the lighting right. And I'm trying not to accentuate these raised bands. I don't want them too ugly. They were starting to look a bit ugly. I did rub the board down here with my trusty sander, and I've put this on a bit of hollow backing material, which is extra thick sort of card with a bit of backing in it, a bit of body in it, and I'm probably doing this all right, all wrong, never mind, all right. Anyway, I'll stop there and I'll carry on again in a minute. I switched off before because I wasn't sure what I was doing, and I'm trying to follow what Alex, I will say Alec, it's Alex Ogden, very knowledgeable and very free with his, liberal with his information. So if anybody's never seen him, if you just put Alex Ogden in, you'll find him. And I think he's a preacher. He's an American, he's Southern American, and he's very pleasant, and I followed his rules, but the thing is I didn't understand some of the equipment he used. I haven't got some of the equipment that I need to do what he does, because he specialises in Bibles and I specialise in anything I can see. If somebody does something, I'll have a go at it. So there's a little bit of butchery here. I'm putting my bits and pieces away. I've got my glove. I've just finished and I'm relatively pleased with it. I suppose I'd have to do a few to get good. And I'm not religious or anything, and I didn't have a Bible to do anything with. And the one I've got is I have a Bible and I've got the Quran. I've got a few bits and pieces. And what I was going to do was back them, put backing on, but I've seen the guttering on them, and the guttering's very, very close. The text is very close to the guttering, so I can't use them. I can't do anything with them, and they are perfect binds, so I can't really do much with them. I can't. Well, I could separate them and do what he does, but it wouldn't be the same. There's no room there to do anything with the text. Anyway, this is what I've done. All I've done is put a book block in, and I've done my usual thing. I've coloured the back, and which is not Bible stuff. I mean, they have this gold lettering on, which I have tried and I've failed at. And I don't think this is leather. I can't do what he does, because this isn't actually leather. It's I don't know what it is. My daughter got it, and I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It might even be what they call pea leather, pleather, which is a type of leather that's manufactured. But I mean, it works and you can do things with it, but I don't know whether it'll take gold lettering. I'm pretty sure it won't, because it's chromed. It'll be chromed, chrome salts in it and things like this and other things which don't work. But it seems to glow up rather well. And I've put my own book block in, and the book block I've put in is one of me. It's just a notebook, just one of my notebooks which I've made. And I don't like plain pages. I hate plain pages. I've done a couple of books with plain pages, and I really hate them. But I've covered it up so far. I've got a few little mistakes, and I've done the corners, and I've tried to emulate his things, but I'm not good at pairing yet, so I haven't really done any pairing as such. Oh, I'm out of shot there altogether. I haven't paired the corners off or anything like that, because I'm not all that good. This doesn't carve up like leather. It doesn't carve like leather, so I can't really get the edge. So I'm going to have to flatten it out. I'll try rubbing it down with sander. I'll try all sorts of things, but I've got to put I don't know what he does with the back. I've got no idea. You do something with the backs to put the backs in, but I know how to put a book in a block, in a case, put them together. But yeah, I'll put some end sheets on there, and I'll put them in a bright colour, because it's not a Bible. This, it's just a thing. But I've got black, so I used it up just to do what he was doing. I thought, well, black looks nice in that. I mean, I suppose I could have done white, but it would look like a wedding. So I don't know whether I'm pleased with it or not. It's a bit chunky, and I don't know what these. I'll have to put something in to fill this up at the back, because it's quite high with this leather, because I haven't paired it, well, whatever leather it is. But the ends went quite nice, and that little bit of tapping it with a hammer and all them bits that he showed me. I did all them, and they all work. And the back of the book is quite nice. But one thing I did notice, I said to the wife, but the wife's bored by bookbinding. She's absolutely bored. the card had a couple of indentations in where there were labels on, and I ripped the labels off. What these came from was pucker. It was I haven't got any 1mm card as such. I've got 2mm in board, grey board, but I didn't have any. I only wanted a 1mm because I didn't have the special card that he uses, and I only had this other card, which is this stuff, which is that's a bit of, which I've been using to do hollow backs with, and it isn't quite thick enough, and that's what he did to do all of this. But anyway, I did 1mm card there, and I put this stuff in the middle and put the false bindings on the back, on the outside here, with my little bits of foul leather I've got little bits of leather like this. it's like felt, and I stick the two pieces together to bring it up to size, to his size, and I think they're about the same size as what he uses, which seemed to be quite important the way he was talking. But anyway, it's reasonable. It's not in. I hope he's not looking, because he'll probably laugh. But if anybody's looking, you can make one of these. They're quite easy to make, and if you watch Alex Ogden, you'll get a really good insight into how you make them. Do them properly, not like the way I do it. I wouldn't show you the way I do them because mine's butchery. But I was quite pleased with the outcome. I do like to try things different, and I get excited with things when they're new. So I'm going to put an inside into this, and then put the end sheets on, and then do them, fix it up, and then it's looking quite nice. Well, I've got to put, oh, that's what I've got to do. I've got to put the bands in, the headbands in there, and there, and then that'll be quite nice. And I've got a large, about an inch of mull on the back here. The Americans call it something else. They call it stack or something, or trash or jack or something like that. I can't remember the name they call it. That's why I get a bit confused, because they call things different names, and they got peach backing and things like this. One of them's using peach backing. I don't even know what it is. So it's a shame we can't talk the same language. but they're quite clever, so I don't argue with them. Some of these Americans are very clever. And anyway, I'll stop there, and I'll let you see the finished product when I've done it. I didn't do the corners, but the corners went in relatively easy. But it'll be a butchery. It won't be it won't be done properly. So I haven't shown anybody how I've done it, in case you try and follow me. And I'm not an expert on this. Well, I'm not an expert on anything, but I haven't got all the complete bits and pieces I needed to do. So if what you could do, I suppose, is you could do the backing like that, and then buy yourself a Bible, or you could buy yourself a Bible with a decent one, and then rip the back off, the pages off like they show you in YouTube, and then do this, and then put this in, because this is the same type of thing. And if it's a Bible, it would fit in there quite nicely, because if you take the New Testament off it and just put the Old Testament in and make one for the New Testament, you'd be okay, because he makes Old Testaments and New Testaments. And you know the rest of it's easy, because I'm an idiot, so you should be able to follow it. Oh, I've got to put a couple of ribbons in as well. I've got a couple of things left to do, but basically that's it. That's my Bible. Or my Bible back, I call it. It's not a Bible, because I'm not really a religious person, and I don't think I'd go into this as a trade. It doesn't really interest me. It's not something I want to do. I want to do something new. Anyway, I'll close there and stop being an idiot. Well, final stages. I'm just finishing off this backing. Well, I call it a Bible back. I'm not making it into a Bible. It's just, I call it a Bible back because it looks like a Bible back, and I took it from a guy called Alex Ogden, and picks up everything, this leather. If anything on there, gold flecks of anything you've been using, it'll pick it up. Anyway, I've done a bit of cosmetic work on the inside to smarten it up a bit, and I've chosen the end sheets for the book and this is what I've picked. And for what it costs, it's rather rough looking paper. This is, but it is, well, it feels solid anyway. And obviously it's going to go in like so. And this is the danger, this is the bit I don't like, this putting the backs in. If it's wrong, you've crapped two end papers and about 4 hours work. Oh dear. But yeah, I keep going on about it, but the things that look easy are hard in bookbinding, to make it look good, to finish off your book. But anyway, that's it, nearly finished. And all I've got to do is to seal it in, and the backs are bowed in well, and when I put this on it'll be even better. So that'll be the final sort of look to it. So anyway, I'll close there, wait for it to dry, and then I'll do the last bit as a finished product. And the other book that I did, I've been having a few problems with it. I pasted up the outside, and I had a couple of raised sections on it, and I wasn't too happy about that. So I've just glued it in. There was only one, I think there was 1 point on it, and a little bit. So it must have been where I'd been a bit sparse with the thing. I do tend to be a bit frugal with, excuse me, with glue on areas where I want it to dry quickly, and I've got a little bit of bowing in the back the wrong way, just a tiny amount, and so I might add a bit more support to that. I've made a bit of a mess of the inside of the end papers as well. I don't know if you can see that, there's a bit of a mess down the bottom there where the mull goes, and I thought it would clear up, but it hasn't, and the same on the other side. And what I'll do is, this gold leaf, it's terrible stuff, it's all over, it sticks to everything. It will come off, but it's everywhere. You open a page and there's a bit of gold leaf. Anyway, I'll stop there and I'll finish them up, and I'll let you know how I get on with it, with the final results. Yeah. Well, the final part of me, the Bible backing. I've had it under a bit of light pressure. And I've been easing the back, and that was the back I put in. Just a notebook, an ordinary notebook. Backing on the back. I didn't like the look of this paper at the beginning, but no, it's quite good. Apparently, this is going to take about to dry properly about a week. So I'll put it under light pressure. You can't squeeze these because you'll ruin the leathery effect. It will squash it, and you won't have a leathery effect. There is a leathery effect on there. Yeah, it certainly is. So it's gone in quite well, and because it's still wet, it's tending to bow, which is what I want, and it's what these extra pieces that I put in, the end papers that I put in, is doing. It's very powerful paper, it's very strong paper, and yeah, so that's the finished product, finished. And it'll be about a week before it's dried properly, thoroughly. It's still trying to bend and bow and things like that. And the other book that I did was the 3/4 bind one. This is finished now, as far as I'm concerned. And all I've done is put a little bit under the back there to draw the spine in. Back in a bit, because I don't think there was enough paper there to draw it in. There wasn't enough there in the original one, so I put this extra bit in, just a piece. Yeah. It's got a nice feel to it. I don't know what's the matter with this page. This page has curled up for some reason. I don't know why. I've got no idea. I can't understand it. It looks odd. It's a waddle by twaddle page, but it will settle down, I suppose, in time. And the works by the same author, but I don't think I'll be bothering with them. I've had enough of this one. Jesus. And yeah, I might read this, I don't know. 1924 it's dated there. It's got a bit about Stonehenge and Barat, which is the English name for Britain, Venetian name. And I don't know how much factual stuff there is in here. It's just a theory, I think, that he's put out, but it might be interesting enough to read. It's quite interesting to read. I mean, he's not a bad author. I mean, he's not too bad. I've read a lot worse. And it's got a few illustrations, and he moves around the place a little bit. It's not very often I keep a book for myself, but this one, I don't know why. Some odd things about a book that I like to keep, and I think this is. I'm keeping this one because it's the first one I did with the 3/4 backing. But they're not perfect, these, by any means. They're not as good as I want them to be. They're not. I could do with a little bit of help with somebody who's in the know. You can keep doing it and doing it and doing it, but it's the little things that you never find out unless somebody actually shows you. And it's such a big feel, this. Anyway, that's the book, and it's bowed in. It's bowing in nicely, and when it's dry, because it's a lot of leather on this, so it'll take a while to dry properly. So there's my 2 books then. If anybody's interested in the music in the background, it's Jason Robillard. Or Duke Robillard, not Jason, Duke. Yeah, so there they are. Yeah, I'll close there anyway. I'm not too disappointed, but I'm not overjoyed with some of the things. I've done a lot of mistakes. I don't want to talk about them now because I'm too disappointed. But I'm expecting the books to break up any time. If they do, I'll let you know. Yeah, well, never mind. Yeah, so anyway, I'll stop there, and that's it for them. And now I'm on to my next project.